All right, here are some important lipoprotein concepts. Remember that lipoproteins are not themselves cholesterol. They carry cholesterol and triglycerides. So the first thing to remember is that chylomicrons carry triglycerides and cholesterol. Triglycerides they take to tissue. Cholesterol is technically carried back to the liver through chylomicron remnants. Then you have the VLDL, IDL, and LDL series. Remember to keep in mind that VLDL is broken down into IDL through lipoprotein lipase, and IDL is broken into LDL through lipoprotein lipase. LDL is considered the bad cholesterol. VLDL carries triglycerides to tissue. IDL carries triglycerides and cholesterol to the liver. Okay, not bad. But LDL takes the hepatic cholesterol to tissues, and this is why we consider it bad. Keep in mind, LDL is absorbed or is taken in by receptor-mediated endocytosis. So that's our bad cholesterol, LDL. Good cholesterol, HDL, mediates a process called reverse cholesterol transport, which takes cholesterol from peripheral tissues to the liver to be excreted. We'll go over that in a bit. It's also a repository for lipoproteins C and E. C is a lipase cofactor. Remember, lipase breaks down VLDL and IDL. And E is for chylomicron remnant uptake, which we need to bring cholesterol back to the liver. So those are very good. It also carries lipoprotein A, which is used for cholesterol transport back to the liver. And it's secreted by the liver and intestine. Okay, so let's talk more about the cholesterol efflux and reverse cholesterol transport. So here's your cholesterol in your peripheral tissues. It got there through very low density lipoprotein and low density lipoprotein and chylomicrons. Okay, bad. Too much bad. So you have these three receptors, ABCA1 and ABCG1 and SRB1. SRB1 is a passive transporter. ABCA1 and ABCG1 are active transporters. Okay, so that process of pulling the cholesterol out of the peripheral tissue to HDL, being carried by ApoA1, is called cholesterol efflux. So efflux, cholesterol leaving the tissues to attach onto HDL's ApoA1. And the process of HDL taking that to the liver is called reverse cholesterol transport. And at the liver, you have your SRB1 receptor, again, that passive receptor, that will take the cholesterol in, form it into bile acids, biliary cholesterol, and excrete it. All right, so an important medication here, if you have hypercholesterolemia, ignore the too much HDL. That's incorrect. That's not an issue. So this is a hypolipidemic agent. So what these do is they increase the ABCA1 active transporter to increase cholesterol efflux, and then the reverse cholesterol transport, which will then increase your excretion of triglycerides. So you have high cholesterol, increase your activation of the ABCA1 transporter to get cholesterol excreted. And it also increases the lipoprotein lipase enzyme, which, if you remember, breaks down your very low density lipoprotein and IDL into a more manageable form, perhaps. All right, one last thing to talk about here is familial hypercholesterolemia. So this is a genetic disorder where you have a defective low density lipoprotein receptor or a defective ApoB100 protein. So ApoB100 is on LDL, and that is what binds to the LDL receptor on the liver here. So those are your little proteins in your LDL. So if either of those are defective genetically, you're not going to be able to clear your LDL out of your system. And you're going to have really early onset coronary artery disease and atherosclerosis. You're going to have LDL levels around 700 milligrams per deciliter. And ideally, you want that LDL to be below 100, your HDL to be above 60, and your triglyceride levels to be under 150 milligrams per deciliter. Total cholesterol under 200 milligrams per deciliter.